Ooh. Good evening. Once more to another exciting, thrilling hobby hangout with me, the Forge of Mars. And yeah, as promised, be doing some oil weathering today. And obviously, whilst that's doing its business, I will also be doing painting up a Legio Vulcanum Reaver Titan. You know, sometimes you just don't do anything for a while and then lots of projects come along at once. And so, yeah, that's the plan anyway. Hopefully, it won't go too far off the beat, off the path, because you know you should never stray from the path. So, as you can see, these are the two Warhounds that were started last week. So the Legio Krytos engine and the Legio Ignatum engine. So this one is named Virgo Bellica, and this one is get my teeth in, Furibundus, which is also sort of a little bit of a nod back to the old dreadnoughts, the original dreadnoughts that they brought out, and the old metal ones, because one of them was Furibundus, because there was different types of weapons loaded. I can't remember, it's so long ago. But yeah, so that's the plan for this evening, and we'll be starting off by the mixing up and everything. So I'm going to get these out of the way for 2 seconds and bring across my well-used. This was actually a cake tray originally, which I then just washed up and have been using as a mixing paints and stuff. So in the bottom here, I have used Winsor & Newton Burnt Umber is the main. This is Artist Oil Colours. I did have Winsor & Newton Mars Grey, but I have somehow misplaced it. So I'm using Payne's Grey, which I have used Payne's Grey a bit more than in the last several engines, because I really cannot find where the hell I put down the Mars Grey. It was only a small one, but you know, I get lost. And then this is Ultramarine, which is a Cobra one, which again I had an Indigo, but I I don't know where Mars or the Indigo's gone, so I'm using these instead. So in the little compartment here, I put in a little bit of black. The black it's so overwhelming, so you've got to be careful. And I've added to it white spirit, or mineral spirits. So just got to mix these up together. Now, with the already telling that I'm going to have to mix in some more brown, because no matter how little I put in of the black, it just overwhelms it every time. So just reminds me of like when I was at school and you're playing about with like powder paints and stuff and mixing them up. And hello Rob, and hello Felix. It goes well with me. Had a busy day at work. Off. But I did actually have a really nice surprise where a customer of mine they're like a friend. You know, we've done so much work for her and her family over the course of years, and you know, you just got a friendship out of it. So it's a friend. But she came in today, and as a thank you for sorting out her latest carpet, she brought me a load of paints. About 7 or 8 paints. I did tweet it, and some an excess detail brush and a base brush, and I was like, wow, that's really, I was overwhelmed, because it's not every day in my trade. You don't get tips every day, which are always pleasant, but you don't also get sort of things like that. I think my boss did get some wine recently from one customer for all his help. Right, so I'll add a little bit more white spirit. Now, before adding oil paints and white spirits in particular to your models, because obviously most model paints are acrylic in nature, you have to coat the models with several coats of varnish. Now, there is something that I picked up from friends in the Titans Owners Club when I first started doing this. Pledge floor polish. You apply it through an airbrush and it does the trick, because you want to protect what you've got down, because what this has done is going to discolour it. It's going to basically change the properties of the colours, and give that sort of like oily sort of congregation of muck that we all love with our Titans. So that is what is going to happen with this once we start applying it. So what you do, obviously, once you start applying this, that's all right, is you go over the areas in question. Now, I'm only doing the armour plates with this particular method. Some people do all the metals, and I don't. I just do the actual armour plates, because that's the things you're going to notice the most. Because obviously with the amount of sort of like Nuln washes I've done, not Nuln washes, Agrax washes I've done with the actual Titan itself, that's helps anyway. You really want to do it on the plates to sort of give you that different dimension to the look. So we'll start off with this little fella. Try and get some of that excess off. And just smudge it all up. And smudge is a technical term. Now I know Rob does a bit of sort of oil washing. So is this similar to your method when you do it, smudging it, or do you have a different way, Rob? Because this is the way I was taught by that wise monkey that is Matt Wingrove, and Phil actually helped out as well. So between the two of them, I've come up with doing this. This is the way I do it. So it might not be how everyone else does it, but it's how I've taken it on. So yeah, you just cover all the plates. These little ones here, the shin plates, are right bugger to get to. And little toes. You can get in there. Ah, see, yours is normally a lot thicker. No, I just go, this is what I was told to do, just like spludge it on. And I'm quite happy with spludging. But yeah, I've seen other people doing different methods. I was actually watching Richard Gray the other day with his Furion paint tutorial, which was actually really, really good and enjoyable. It did make me feel like, oh, maybe I should do Furians. I'm still holding out though, because as I say, they've got enough Titans to be doing with at the moment. But yeah, his method was totally different. The way he does like the oil weaving, because it's very precise. His one, not a sort of hand grenade approach. But yeah, so there are many different ways, as we can see. Hey, Mouse, thank you for dropping in, and you can lurk away. Obviously, I know that you'll jump in if the need arises. It's good to have you here. It's not Saturday Night Reaver if like you guys aren't here. So like obviously Mouse, Rob, Felix, you are pretty much the major regulars here, amongst a few others. But yeah, you're always in and around, and it's always lovely to have you guys hanging out. Are you still doing your Cerastus work at the moment, Rob? So that's that. Now, the same applies to weapons. So I'm just aiming for the plates, but if you do smudge it over, doesn't matter. If you haven't learned by now that I am the most carefree painter around, you know, it really doesn't matter. If you make a cock up, you can rectify it later. Not a problem. Don't beat yourself up over things. I know a few people that really do get quite sort of upset. You just got to sort of change. We got to break that habit. We got to break that habit together if we can. Because it's never that bad, unless you pardon me, do something and you blow it up. Then that's bad. But I don't think you can do anything too bad. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. So I hope the light. I was mucking about with the ring light, which is up there. So obviously I'm very pale today. I'm going for the vampire look. It's very in at the moment, apparently. But at least I can see what I'm bloody doing. Because with my other light I brought in last week, as I was trying to sort that out, there was a lot of flicker coming through onto the camera, which isn't good, because it could set off photosensitive epilepsy in people, and that's the last thing I want to do, is cause somebody to have an attack. So yes, that's out the way. But this is a really good light setup, so I can actually see what I'm doing, which is kind of important when you're painting, I find. AD, hello, welcome back, dude. It was AD last week's session, hobby hangout. We posted like what he was doing on Instagram, and saying like, oh yeah, he was just talking about the Secrets of Nim. And I don't remember we mentioning the Secrets of Nim, but Secrets of Nim is a very special movie to me. So we will talk about that at some point, no doubt. You normally make consistency of thick milk cream so it runs into the recesses really easily. Yeah, no, as I said, I was told to do it this way, and by Jengo. This is exactly the same way as I've done it on my big Titans, which I didn't do it on Iracundus. Iracundus I will never touch, because my friend Chris painted it, and you can't really, you know, it is now a sort of icon of Titan goodness, but it's also a sort of a memorial to his memory. So yeah, you can't do anything with Iracundus there because his fair hand touched it, and he created the paint scheme for it. But the other guys, which I painted, yeah, fair game. Just get in there, just paint them all up. It's all good. All is finished on Saturday. Yeah, Cerastus, funnily enough, is just 2 coats of floor polish, so I can crack on with some oils and enamels tomorrow. Nice. Starts at 1 PM my time, so it's nice afternoon hobby time. Oh, excellent. Cheers. That way works, but it will take a bit more. Now, you say that, a bit more scrubbing. I actually find the scrubbing actually therapeutic because I use, as he reaches into his bag, the old cotton buds. And I actually find it quite therapeutic, which is, you know, it is a lot of work. Like when I done my weathering to my Legio Ozydax Titans, I'd done them all at the same time, weapons and all, and literally just had like painted. By the time I painted through over everything, it was about time to actually go back to the start and start to sort of scrub them off. Yeah, and you sort of, it's quite enjoyable because it's like, I think it's similar to like the feeling you get when you use the the paint protector stuff that you put on, like you pour it on or you dab it on and it dries like a rubber and then you peel it off. It's like, yeah, that sort of like peeling off PVA fake skin off your fingers like you did as a kid, sort of thing. So yeah, I find it therapeutic. Funnily enough, the other week I had started like painting all this onto my iconoclast. That was the one, the Krytos one, and then I had an emergency, well, sort of not really an emergency, but I needed to take the boy down to get his injection, his booster, and so it's like, so okay, so I took it with me in a bag with all my cotton buds, and whilst he was out getting his injection sorted out and waiting and all that, I was in the car scrubbing away. Yes, can't leave it for too long. You didn't? Oh, there you go, AD. You know, that's why this place is such a great little hangout, because we learn stuff here. You know, like Rob, Mouse joins in with her sort of. Yeah, it was because there was when I was doing stripes the other week, and they were saying, no, you want to stipple it. I'm like, okay, and both Rob and Mousebait joined in, saying, no, that's how we do it. It works for us, and now that's how I do it when I'm doing. Instead of like airbrushing them all the time, I'm now just stippling on, because obviously it's better, and you can add it even like, because it's stipple, you can leave a little bit and it looks like chipping. So yes, that was something I learned from the hobby hangout, Saturday Night Reaver, from about 3 weeks ago, I think it was. So, and that's what I did. Obviously you can't see it now because I painted over on the the Ignatum engine, but that's what I did. I stippled the colour on in place. Yeah, your Reaver Titans that you've been putting out, AD, fantastic, mate. They're looking so good. Oop. So yeah, and also going back to what AD mentioned last week about the Secret and Nim. which is, when I saw you had written that down on that post, Amy, I actually laughed at myself. I was like, we never mentioned Secret Nim, but it's something that would have come up. We would have spoken about it at some point, but now you've instigated it for this week. I saw The Secret Nim when it came out on VHS many years ago. It was almost 40 years ago, because my mum had got it as a video to watch at my birthday party. So I think it was coming up to my 8th birthday party. So kids from school like that was invited. Now this is weird as well, because one of my friends, Stuart Anderson, his name, we always went to each other's birthday parties. Like, we were friends. My mum and dad sort of knew his mum and dad as well from like a social club thing. But for some reason this year he hadn't been invited to the party. I wasn't aware of this. Invite just wasn't given to him. I don't know why, but he still turned up. And like, I was like, he wasn't invited, but he turned up because it was my birthday party. And like, obviously I'd been saying about a birthday party, I assumed he was coming anyway because like, it's my friend, but he wasn't actually invited, which is weird. But he turned up, and they say we're all there, opening presents, party games. Oh, right, here's a little video for you to watch, little cartoon video, right? And they put on Secret of Nim, which, if you've watched Secret of Nim, there's some really harrowing parts. It's not as bad as like Watership Down, for example, for the trauma, but there is a couple of bits in there you're just like, ooh, yes, kids movie, but it was a real shocker in certain scenes. So yeah, a lot of traumatized 8-year-old kids was leaving my party that year. Which is also weird. That was my actual last birthday party. I never had another birthday party after that, because apparently it was the rules. My mum said you only have birthday parties up until you were 8. Okay. Yeah, I was only learning the rules. So yeah, so no more birthday parties after that, but obviously it left a mark, because everybody remembers The Secret of Nim. Right. So let's get that out of the way. So, well, actually, sorry, just missed a bit. Those little back feet. Always miss those little back feet. Let's get that out of the way. So, once that's been applied, it is just a case of having it dry, really. So you have to let it dry for a while. Obviously, I'll just let it go to work there. And so this is the other chap. This is I posted the pictures of this on Twitter earlier on from my work last night, where I basically, Thursday night, I was on a hobby chat with some friends, and I built, this is how I always do this process when doing Titans. Legs. Most important part of a Titan is the legs, because they're the ones that give you the poses. So it was a case of getting that all sort of plan, all the parts, all the constituent parts together, and then the sorry, message. Getting the bits in place, and then I work on the base. So this is the base, which I used parts from the Spire kit to assemble a sort of shell of building, and then use some of the parts that I've cut off onto the rubble on the floor. Now with my Vulcanum engines, I make these little bits from the normal thing, the normal scenic kits. You get so many of these, and I just make these little podiums. So you could stick the old epic Marines on there or whatever, and then just, you know, a little feature. But all my Vulcanum have one of these on their base, so it sort of ties it all together, if you know what I mean. That's the theory. But yeah, there's lots of little bits of plastic I've tripped down, chopped up. Now, when I was playing about with the pose, this is the first one where I've actually cut into the foot to bring that forward like that. So as he stands, he's got the heel up like that, so he's moving off. So as I was trying to stick the hoses into place, I'd somehow, because the glue was still drying, I guess, I basically manoeuvred the legs into a weird position. So I actually had to put something down here to act as like a little foot plate, so I can glue that on there, as well as glue his foot onto there. So gives him, looks like he's just dropping his foot on there, and then it's just raising that foot before moving on. That's the theory anyway. But yes, so that's this dude, and see, I magnetized it all yesterday, last evening. So standard. I had a Mars Alpha head on a sprue, so I used that, and then because I'm trying to tie in with my the Vulcanum engines I've already done, so it's almost like I've got two lots of twins. So that's what I'm trying to do with them anyway. Yes. So whilst they're still going on there, I'm just going to try and find some lead belcher. Okay, I can't find the lead belcher at the moment, so instead I'll give that a going over with Mechanicus Standard. Leafly to batch paint Titans. There was one time where I think the most I've done in a week was 5. I was trying to do 7, but I came down with an illness. I don't know what it was. It was basically just knocked me out for like 2 days, so I had to do 5. But my friend Greg, who he has been in the chat before, he managed to do 7 Titans quite easily, and he was doing Solaria. I think it was either using my Solaria scheme that I done, or he was doing the Vulcanum. I can't remember which one, but he knocked out about 7 Titans in a week, which was like, wow. And he was like so over the moon with how it all came out. So he did really well. I was very proud of him as well. As you would be, like a proud father. Getting ready for April's walk. Cool. Yeah. You're walking with me. So that's going to get out. Yeah, but that's the thing, Felix. It's like just doing one a week is good. Doing one a month is good. As long as you can do it in your own pace and you're happy with the results. There's no point in sort of rushing if you don't need to. Obviously, if you're doing a tournament, then yeah, let's rush away. But yeah, it's just that I've always sort of worked fast myself, and I don't like faffing about. So, which is weird because obviously with this you got with oil weathering you got to wait. But then I counterbalance it with the satisfaction I get from when I'm scraping the stuff off with the cotton buds. But yeah, it's you know, we all work to our own speeds. There's no competition at the end of the day. As long as you get your Titans to the quality and standard that you're happy with, that's all that matters, mate. Arrows. Yeah, that your knights. You're doing another bloody orcified night and tormenting, tagging me in chat threads. So rude. Our last comment was just basically just like, no. With the mechanicals, I don't, on some of this actual building, I do it in sector. I don't try and do the whole model because I like having a mixture of textures and tones. But yeah, I'll just go across little bits here and there. I'm just covering those bits that might have missed when spraying because it's easily done. Especially when you're doing it at night outside and you can't see Jack. Whoever Jack is. Right. That's that. Get that in there. See, everyone here is always willing to help out other hobbyists, which is cool. And as I say, that's the sort of environment I think we would all thrive in. Just a laid back, chilled group of people just hanging out, drinking beer and modelling. Right. I've got the little radiator on by my side. So I'm just going to let the heat from that warm and help dry out. Because it's basically when the white spirit starts to sort of evaporate, that's when you get back on it and start doing what you need to do. Oh, I must have put that down. No. No. Yeah. Hello, Fenry. Welcome to the hobby hangout of seeing me shaking some lead belcher. Welcome. Oh, but you know when you're looking for something and it's right in front of your eyes, it's literally just sitting there. After all that, no, use the old one. Save the new one. where's my brush back? And I'm going to use a new brush as well. So, what are you hobbying tonight, Finry? Anything interesting? And Erus, are you still working on those monstrosities you showed me? So yeah, just giving it a little light coating just to catch any bits that I might have missed with the lead belcher spray. And just to make sure you've got some good coverage, full stop. So yes, again, it's quick, it's not pretty. That's never, when you're trying to make him sort of look battle worn. Yeah, I don't do parade ground style paint schemes. It's not my thing. Everything is just down and dirty. Actually, thinking about it, no, actually, no. Because what I was going to do was go with doing the trim colour first, but then doing it in a way that obviously not exactly being careful, but I don't know now. I'm second guessing myself again. Because no, I'll actually no, I won't do the trim first, because I kind of thought I found a cheat once with these and painted all the plates in Liberator Gold and then applied the colours for Vulcanum, which was on a Warbringer I did last year, and it changed. Obviously, painting over with contrast paints is not like Meadow Shade, greetings. So Finry, it's about I'll pop into the Discord later on. Batch paint Bjorn, 10 Terminators, 10 Intercessors, and 10 Infiltrators. Just had a session on a gold trim and helm spin. Yeah, yes, the trim will do that to you. But yeah, I say with this shortcut, I was thinking, oh yeah, it'll work out. But it totally changes the properties of contrast paints when you paint over gold rather than the lead belcher. So I ended up having to repaint all the aphomeric blue sections because they were more a green tinge instead of a teal, which is the colour of choice for my Vulcanum anyway. Because they're it was quite nice to find out a bit more about them in the latest the Traitors book, to find out that they were at one point the largest Legio, because where they'd been separated from the Imperium and all that, they had the ability to make sort of Titans, and they had a load of them. So when they were doing their battles and stuff, obviously it took casualties and stuff, but they could replenish and resupply no problem. But they were huge, and so obviously once they was refound, they thought, oh no, you can't have that many Titans, and so they got split into Vulcanum 1 and Vulcanum 2. So the Hands of Ruin and the Darkfire, and the Hands of Ruin are black with more of a like a mossy green colour, and Darkfire are the teal ones, and probably the more numerous, because there was more artwork for the teal ones. There was one picture of one Hand of Ruin Reaver Titan, whereas all the other Titans were Darkfire. So if you've got more pictures of one type, more people will paint them like that type. Only doing a quick and dirty batch paint, and I'm going to hide all the sins with some really heavy black oil wash. Nice. Yeah, if it wasn't for washes and shades, yeah, I'd be lost with painting. I probably would have given up at some stage, because they make models. They really do. They give such a great sort of different dimension to your paint schemes, and just makes them all better. Magic in a pot, quite literally. So, Mellow Shade, what are you working on tonight? More Titans or Heresy or something else? Gosh. Totally lost track of what I was doing, but it doesn't matter. Because damn it, I just remembered there's a different phase I've got to do with these ones as well. Damn it, bugger. Say different phase, but it's I get all the lead belcher on, because I'm now just remembering what I actually do, and then I'll do a very watery shade, glaze, or whatever you want to call it, Morphang and water. Hey MZ, welcome to the stream of dreams. Yeah, so I'll go over the entire model with watered down Mornfang. So once that dries, it is very weathered looking, dirty, grimy, horrible, not well maintained, been in action, and as you all know, it's how I like my Titans to look. Pretty battered and bruised, and they should be in the thick of things. Because they're not exactly shrinking violets, are they? Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you very much. How's you? You alright? How's your Saturday? Well, what is your Saturday? What are you doing? What are you up to? I just got your message through Fenry. Now that's the thing. Do you want it to be Fenry or Fenris? Because that's what people do. So get that. What's going on? Meh. Sorry. Let's go check out what Fenry is up to. Oh, Struth. Oh! Bugger. Titans down. Titans down. Oh. That's weird. Right. Damn it. Cobwebs and hair. Joy. My favourite. Right, they're coming off now. Jesus. Yeah, I say, because I'm like, I know, I'm trying to place who it was, but I know who it is. Right. Yeah, drop test. Yeah. Damn it. Dwarf organ gun crew. Have you ever remember you was mentioning the other week you was doing dwarves? The little dwarvies? Right. Right. Yeah. So as you might be able to see here, there's a lot of dirt. Well, to say dirt is actually hair, fluff, doglets. Right. So now we're in this situation. That's not the one I want to start with, because that was the second one. Start with the first one because that's been drying for longer. So this will come off. So with cotton bud, you start to run it over and start revealing the awesomeness. That is the amazing properties that this oil washing does. And it gives it a real nice sort of difference to the tone, but obviously it congregates in the edges as well, which gives it a little bit more that sort of lived in, been in the field of battle for ages, and scrape that off. I actually bought some more cotton buds today just in case. I had a bag of them. I probably had enough there, but you always want to make sure. Right. That's the sort of look you're after when you do this kind of thing. I did, one bonus was I found this rather interesting stone when I was looking down there, so interesting. Aim to get 30 dwarves and a war machine done this week, 20 character next month, and then a new box set comes out back on the Ufway. Oh, I'm shedding, yes. Yeah, so as I showed a little bit before you turned on to the channel, pledge floor polish through an airbrush. I did, because obviously when I'm doing decals, because you always do decals first as well. So with that, I gloss varnish first, add decals, then I'll matte varnish to lock them all in. Then I'll do the pledge, because I'm paranoid like that, over the parts that I want to oil weather. and yeah, and that's basically what you get. But yeah, on vehicles, tanks, you know, oil weathering, Titans, obviously. Oil weathering really does give them an extra dimension. And you can go as light or as heavy. But just that's nice, sort of, you know, battle worn. It's been through the wars, damn it. It's seen things. Magic marble. But you've just got to hit the sweet spot as well with the drawing, because obviously the longer you leave it, the harder it is to get off. Unless you're doing like different methods, as I say, like Rob was saying earlier on, he does a very thin, sort of like heavy cream sort of density. But obviously I go with the thick, gloopy stuff. But I also say, yes, he's probably a lot more harder work than Rob's, but I don't mind that because I actually enjoy this part of it where you're sort of taking off the oil. Like the big reveal. Look, here's your new Warhound. All dirty and dirty, filthy dog. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, so it was a technique I think they'd done in the Forge World Master class book, like the original one they brought out, which is like early 2000s. So that's really where everyone, the Legio Astorum Titan, Reaver Titan, had it all done. I don't know if you can still get that book from Forge World or if it's an eBay hunt nowadays. Because they were sort of like saying about other products that they didn't do at the time. But obviously now they do a whole host of products, not oil paints or anything, but I want to do this with my engines. It does look scary process, but yeah, no, that's what I was really worried when I first done it. But then I embraced the horror, went with it, and yes, maybe if you are a little bit concerned, AD, knock up something painted the same way and test it on that first and see how it looks, because you know they are quite a big model to go straight onto. As I said, I get to that stage where I just go, fuck it, and just go for it. His little toes, getting a pedicure. Let's get that off. I've not tried Pledge, only ever used matte spray and rattle cans, also airbrush most of stuff. I'm always aware of paint layers are thin, so I always coat them with, yeah, no, you say as long as you sort of do the preparation right, you shouldn't have any problems, to be honest. So it just really does add an extra dimension, especially to like big feature models. So like if you're doing like a big sort of support tank You know, especially like Forge World ones, you want them to look like just magnifique. But I do love this on Titans in particular. Just really sort of makes them look so much more once they're all dirtied up. Right, so that's looking all right. It, you know, how it just sits into the edges there, just like that congregation, accumulation, sorry, of oils and dirt and, you know, machine sweat. But just sits in those little gaps. Just really, oh, it's just such a great little thing. I'm so glad I started doing it, because the weird thing is, as I said, it does change the color properties of the paint. So even if you was painting it a Titan, it looked a lot lighter. Now, for example, if you ever see my Legio Solaria engines, like my first ones, they were quite a light colour. It was very like spearmint sort of shade that they had once I'd done them. But after I'd done the oil weathering to them, it changed it totally, because it toned it down really nicely, and they now look like the book art, if you know what I mean. Which I was just so amazed with. And first of all, I was like, oh my God, this doesn't look right. But then as you looked at it more, you think, no, actually it does. It looks better. There was, funnily enough, the first picture I took of a War Master. The first one I've done was the Legio Solaria War Master. And I'd done my Evolution of Man, but in Titans picture. So you had from Imperial Knights, so you had the Questorius, you had the Cerastus, you had the Acastus, then you had the Warhound, then you had the Reaver, then you had the Warbringer, then you had the Warlord. Then I put in the Psi Warlord Titan, because technically it's an evolution on from the Warlord. And then I put the War Master. All the other Solaria engines looked fine, and the War Master, because I hadn't done the oil weathering, looked a lot brighter. So it like, ooh. So I had to quickly sort out the oil weathering, and then take the photograph again. More buds, please. So you can see where that's coming off now. It's sort of really dirtied down that white that was there. And even on like the gold, it's just given an extra dimension to it. Now obviously the more you rub, the more comes off. So you've got to sort of balance it, because you want it to be dirty around the like external parts, like what's external, against the trim, around the actual void nodes in particular. But you can see how that's really, really dirty. Really Terry Thomas, the old sort of like 50s, early 60s actor. You see like, hello, you bounder. Dirty, dirty boy. Sorry, I'm just in one of those moods today by lots of things. But at least it's also taking off the hair. Dogs and cats come in here. hang out, chill out. So damn good rubbing over the flatter areas. But you are sort of forcing it into the edges as well. I wish it would focus. He was doing all right earlier on the computer. Really bringing me down now. Poke that into the bits that it's hard to get to. That's it. Yeah, so you get right into these bits. So they've got good coverage all over, but as you can see, it would do, as you would see, oh, there you go. So it definitely gives it that nice sort of lived-in look. Let's go over that top bit there again. I'm trying to avoid going over those studs as much, because it adds to the sort of the weathering where, you know, rusty dirt, machine dirt from the studs are running down across the armour. And that's why you should also do your decals first as well, because you try doing decals afterwards, it's not going to look right. It's going to look so wrong. But as you can see, it totally changes the properties. It sort of, it just ties it together so well. It's similar to what happens when you're using washes and shades. It ties it together better, I find. And that's why I like having my vehicles all, you know, lived in look. It really just adds to it so much. Support the foot. So it's turning the white into more like a bone, deathly colour, which works. Right. Get in there. Such fun. Pedicure. kitty. So just 1 foot and this shin. Oh no, actually 5 there. So it's this leg. Now I painted this one up slightly differently to other Krytos engines. Done one leg white but with green toes. I do try to mostly keep them symmetrical, but then I wasn't feeling it, having symmetry for a change. I thought it would make it a bit more individual, so I did. But this is much better than washes, because washes still dry differently and the oils stay where they are exactly. So do you also do all of yours with oil, or do you just do pads like me, Rob, when you do your ones? Would the head of that model be good to go to put on a head of a knight of my Space Force? It might be a bit small, mate, because Imperial Knight heads are normally, I'd say, similar size to the War Master, which is the biggest AT Knight, the biggest AT Titan, the War Master, which is the one I posted up recently on Instagram, the one with the big chain sword and the like clawy thing. Those heads are similar size, and they're about that sort of size. That would be very small for Imperial Knight. If you wanted to get like a wolf head type head, I think places like Shapeways or even Etsy, you can probably get where people make them up, 3D print and stuff. Because that's what Shapeways is. You obviously just buy 3D printed stuff. People design them and make them and then sell them. So this was for basically doing this particular episode is for Ivy's benefit, because she was asking about how to do oil weathering, because obviously what I was talking about the other week. So I'll just show how you go about doing it, which she won't be joining us tonight because she's probably still in Nottingham, because she was up there with Office and Electric Eve, amongst others, for their day, or Leaky Cheese as well, gaming and stuff. But yes, at least I'm getting rid of all those cat and dog hairs. It's quite worrying. It was behind the radiator that fell down, so obviously you know what it's like behind radiators. The horrors. Yeah, Tarot Modern Maker, yeah. He does all that sort of stuff. Well pointed out, Felix. Yes. I actually heard of Tarot Modern Maker was actually a friend of one of my friends. It was just like, because he was putting, oh, you know Tarot Modern Maker? No. And this was before he sort of became big. I think they knew each other from the army. And the last one. Right. So that is that. So oil's done. A proper bruised and battered Titan. Focus camera. You're a 4K camera, god damn it. Here you go. And that's why I like weathering these things. It does really give it an extra dimension to your models. Really does. So that's them done. So let's put them out the way for a bit. And that's the... Hold on. I'm missing a Vulcan Megabolter. Found said Vulcan Megabolter. It was on the windowsill. No biggie. It takes 2 seconds. Or take 20 seconds. Another one to be sure. Okay. Bang. And there's the Ignatum one. Come on, work. Yeah. The Warhound Titan. The hunters. Sniff out the enemy and shoot the crap out of them from behind. But oh so worth it. So So that's them out the way. That's that. Just get rid of all these cotton buds. Put that in some white spirit. And there. Go in there as well. And get that back because we've got to do some Worn Fang. Oh, yeah, right, 2 secs. I'm just going to grab a beer from the outside. Nice and cold. Right, so what's going on here? I've switched over to enamels mainly. They work roughly the same way, but I find them a bit more versatile. Never tried enamels myself. Well, tell her, some of the first paints I actually used were enamels, like the old Airfix, sort of like Humbro tin pot enamels, when I first started back in the 80s. Yeah, that didn't last long. I always use enamels on my metals. They really bring the skeleton and the Titans to life. And you do good skeletons on your Titans. You do good on all your Titans in every part of it because you're just awesome. Yes. I believe Terramon went to the Nightwolf head. That's what we're looking for. Thank you. I would like Laryl. Tarek some really nice bits, and yet I'm pretty sure he does anyway. The last thing I saw him doing was like Armiger head variants or something. Many moons ago. Right. That's not looking good. Looking damn sloppy. Enamels dry fast and not long to wait before clean. And there you go. Right. Now this is the next phase. Painting it all over with this. And yeah, just get these in and around and everywhere else into position and down. So with regards to what you've been all doing recently, anything interesting happening in the world with your either hobby or stuff that you're actually working on elsewhere? I know, like, well, or even if you're watching interesting TV, because as we all know from last week's show, The Expanse is over. My Fridays are not the same as they once were. And so when you're doing this sort of part, because this does leave it looking sort of quite rusty-fied in some respects, if you're thinking it's a little bit too heavy, just add a little bit of water. It's not going to hurt. Just spread it out a bit more. That's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be having it too intense. I turned off the X-Files to come here. I hope you appreciate it. Well, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's nice to have you along and hanging out, dude. So we missed out last night with our usual Friday night hanging out. So it's good to have you here. Have you already planned what you're doing tomorrow? Like when you're doing one of your marvellous Sunday dinners and watching war movies? Oh, damn it. I was actually thinking about you yesterday about what you could watch for on Sunday, in case you asked. And now what I had in mind has completely slipped my mind. I'm trying to think of it now. Damn it. That's freaking annoying. It might have been A Knight's Tale. No, no, Kingdom of Heaven. That's what I was thinking of when I thought of you. So that's my recommendation for your Sunday viewing if you haven't already sorted it out. There is actually that's what it's it, because all right, bridge too far. There you go. Catch up from last week's. That's cool. Because there is, it might be on Daily. I know you watch Daily Motion on the occasions. I'm trying to remember because I actually watched. There's a different, like a director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven, which I just moved that leg. Damn it! I must have fucked it. Shit. Well, I'll sort it out. Yeah, sorry. There is a sort of director's cut of it, which is so much better than the theatrical version. I watched that in lockdown last year. Or was it the year before now? I can't remember which lockdown it was. It was in a lockdown. But I found it and I thought, because I love Kingdom of Heaven. Such a great movie. Or Balian. But, yes. I'll see if I can find it and send you a link to find it. I'll be working, mate. Me. Sorting out your new bench and started a 28-meter Reaver again. Sorting the megas. Hey there, Sophus. Hey. Good to have you along, dude. There's another Fortidus one you're working on, I hope. Kingdom of Heaven, the one with Eric Banner. No, I think you're thinking of Troy. That's the only one I know that Eric Banner's in. Winning like swords and fighting and stuff. Now, Kingdom of Heaven is a Ridley Scott one with Orlando Bloom as the lead. Although it does have a former Hulk in it, because it has oh crap, second Hulk before Mark Ruffalo, who was in Fight Club as not Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was in it. Was in Troy. Sorry, Edward Norton. That's it. Although you don't see his face. But yeah, no. Kingdom of Heaven is a great movie. Ozark. Yeah, no, I keep on meaning to watch Ozark. But again, like, you know, you think, oh, I'll give that a try, and then something else just jumps in your way, goes, oh, watch me, watch me, watch me, and you start watching something else, and then, yeah, oh, bugger. Just realised I've just got oil paint on my arms. On my arm, on my hands. So yeah, I'll say not a lot going on the TV side of things. Book of Boba Fett, and yeah, that's the only show I think I'm just currently watching, really. Jesus. I'll just start searching for something to watch. So just after the end of the Expanse last week, I did sort of put a post out. So what do I want to do now? Oh no, I'll watch it again from the start. Crazy idea. I was trying to get Jinx to watch Primal Fear with Edward. Yeah, you look like tormenting poor Jinx. Being a big old bully you are. Smell like a DIY store now for just using some white spirit kit. Oh, that's fumes. Wow. Ooh, that's an eye opener. It's like, you know, when you get a sudden drinking a sudden slurp of high intensity, high grade vodka. You know, the ones that really just like take your breath away when you're. What is wrong with you? That's fine. Right, so that's that. That was the empty one. That's the full one. It's not odorless. It is low odor, so not odorless. So it's not as pungent as the other stuff, but it's when you get a sharp up close. That's yeah. You smell the flavour. So yeah, that's a pile of mud. I'm just going to see, because obviously where I've just that's fine. Put that out of the way. You can go in there, soak that up, and to there, soak that up. Excellent. As to the creative mind, I find. Yeah, I was like on a totally different plane of existence right now, mate. Brushy. You'll do. Oh, not you. Not you. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, let's see that leg. I've obviously held it too long, and I've made it a little bit wobbly. Right. I'll put that on the radiator to dry again. And then I'll knock it off onto the floor and get some more cat hair and whatnot all over it. And that will make things fun, won't it? Yeah, actually, I think I mentioned today I was watching Apocalypto for the first time. Mel Gibson's masterpiece. And to be fair, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a good film. It might have been, well, not really well, you knew what was happening in some respects, but it was actually quite an interesting sort of look at obviously how they saw the natives in the South Americas existed. So it was actually quite eye-opening. But yeah, that was actually quite a good movie. So obviously don't speak a word of English in it, or subtitles, but it's enjoyable. And it's relatable as well in some respects as well. How they behave and stuff. But yeah, it's quite at times quite again harrowing because of what actually happens in the film. Which no spoilers here, but yeah, it's definitely worth. It's on Amazon Prime at the moment, so yeah, it was free to watch, so I watched it as you do. We just got another whiff of that white spirit. Yeah, so Ozark. Definitely keep an eye out for that. Is that Amazon as well? Is that Netflix? It was on Netflix. I cancelled my Netflix because just wasn't really watching anything. And obviously we've got Netflix at home, so there's no point in having like 2 lots of Netflix on my phone and at home. So no, what hiccups? Great. That's turning them over on the Barbie. And whilst that's doing that, let's see, have I got what I want here before trying elsewhere? No. I have got it here. Handy dandy. So that's going to be a little bit of dry brushing on the base. I'm going to use some Tyrant Skull. So obviously I went over, first of all, once I've done all the basing malarkey, Halford's Grey Primer for the prime coat, and then Mechanica Standard Grey, and then dry brushing it with Tyrant Skull. Christmas carols. Yeah, you heard it here first, people. Christmas isn't that far away. Just down the road. It certainly feels like it. It's like you just don't do anything, and the next minute, oh, well, got a good Christmas present. That's how time goes when you get older, people. So you young'uns, you enjoy it. Us old uns, we're just whizzing through the years. Yeah, no, I used to enjoy watching Fringe. Walter was just awesome. And even Joshua Jackson as well, which I was recently reintroduced to Joshua Jackson because I was rewatching the Mighty Ducks movies. So I got on to watching Mighty Ducks, and then I think Disney actually had a new series of the Mighty Ducks with like new kids and that, but it's got Emilio Estevez in it, so it was actually, it weren't too bad to be fair. Same thing, just modern. But I was just surprised that Joshua Jackson was Charlie in the original movies, which was just like, oh my god, Charlie. He was Peter in Fringe. He was in Dawson's Creek as well, or something. I used to enjoy Fringe. Fringe was cool. And Walter was just bonkers, yeah. It was high as a kite on most things. Oh, hi Steve. Welcome. Wonderful Base. Is there a stream I can watch where you made it? Not on this particular one, Stephen, but I have got in my video collections, if you go to the channel through the videos, painting demos, there is, it's about, I think it's about 18-20 minutes, and you see me go from start to finish with doing the building of the base and what I use in their constructions, because it's all the same materials that I use. Obviously, as you might recognise with this is from the Spire set from the AT scenery. They're little bits that I've just stuck 4 of them together to make the little podium on there. Then I've used random bits, obviously bits I've cut off here, I've cut down and reused as rubble on the insides and that, so it helps stand and make it look a bit more authentic and realistic. And then various bits of plastic I've cut up from, like, even like sprues that these bits have come off of. I'd cut down into like real rubber chunks, and various other bits of plastic that are just laid out and staggered over, so it's like rebar and stuff. And then I have like a pot of sand. Now I've got various different sands in there, different types of grit, and thickness and density. I put in some like little like army painter rocks, rubble you can get, so I'll throw some of them in there as well. But you'll see that in the actual video as well. But yeah, it's very easy, straightforward, and then once you paint it up, let's say Halford's Grey primer, Mechanica Standard, and obviously I'm using Tyrant Skull here as a dry brush over it. And then once that's done, I'll wash it with Agrax. So that sort of ties it all together, makes everything just work wonderfully. What I do on occasion is then I'll dry brush over the buildings to make them stand out a little bit more from the actual base. So you don't want to look too much the same, but it's just little variations. So maybe a little dry brush of Rakarth I've used in the past, or even I think I use like Administratum Grey, just a tonal shift, if you know what I mean, just like that, but not being too precise. I've always kept it rough looking, but it's a very subtle sort of change in tone from everything else. So it helps, it works, and that's what matters. But yeah, it's to say it's very easy, and once you've got it going, you just do it with all your models. And I even use this same sort of method for my 40k stuff or heresy stuff now. because I always used to use textured paints, so like Armageddon Dust, until they changed how they made it, and it's totally different now. So yeah, but welcome to the channel anyway. As always, everybody like and subscribe. All adds to the fun. I think I'm going to have to get some. I'll check if I've got some glue in my box. I might have to get some glue because that is a bit too loose now because I've damaged it. Now, is another little sort of tip for heresy players. If you're into doing Iron Warriors, this is how I did my Iron Warriors, which I basically went with spraying them over with Mornfang spray, and then heavily dry brushing them with lead belcher, and then giving them a wash of Agrax, and that gives a real sort of weathered, beaten look. But I've also used it as a base for weathered Space Marines in general. So from like this, a bit more silvery obviously, I've gone and like stippled on colour. So I've done like some Ultramarines this way, so it gives it a really sort of beaten, old, damaged look. So if you chip it out, so you leave some of like, you don't paint it all solid flat colours, you stipple it on sort of thing, so you have little gaps so you can see some of the sort of the rusted metal underneath it. So that is good. I have no paint. I have paint. I haven't got no glue. So I'm gonna have to quickly nip in and grab some, because otherwise that's gonna go wrong. So 2 seconds. Well, it'll be about 25 seconds from when I break. Go. About 32 seconds. I apologise for the extra 7 seconds, but I'd moved everything, so I thought, where's it? Where's my glue gone? So it all disappeared. Right, okay, right, let's sort this out quickly. Always struggled with blooming way. Oh, well, thank you very much. And again, thank you for joining us on this fine Saturday evening. Pin, 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 pin. Get in there. It's probably the worst glue to pick up because there's hardly any in it, and it's going to take forever for it to actually get out to the bloody nozzle. That's better. Gosh. Down forward Goldberg. You're a wrestler Goldberg. It's like Goldberg. As wrestlers go. See, I remember many years ago, the first WrestleMania that I ever watched was WrestleMania 4. And yeah, like most people, I fell into wrestling. I just went along with it, as you do. But yeah, like other things, you sort of move on, you evolve, you change. That's looking better. Let's leave that to one side for a bit. Just chill out, dude. Just chill out. Right. So gonna need some contrast paints. He says. Alphametic blue and black Templar. They're the two main colours you use when doing Legio Vulcanum. Oh, Goldberg for the Mighty Ducks. Had a hell of a drug problem as an adult, unrecognisable. Hey, Felix. I know a semi-tradition. I've only done it about 4 times. Come on, does that conform to being a tradition? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I honestly just thought I'm not going to need any glue. I'm not building. I'm painting. And yeah, should have brought it in with me. should have just done it. Didn't. Regretted it. Yeah, so the Mighty Ducks, the new next generation Mighty Ducks is actually quite good. It's enjoyable. Gordo by Emilio Estevez. A light dusting. That's a thing with all these like child stars, isn't it? So I think so many of them just, you know, either commit to acting careers and go off the rails, or they don't and they try and go their own way. I think the only one a bit more than 4 times, Lee. I wasn't counting. I know there was times when there was a few more, but yeah, I've been good for the most part for the last few months. Carrie Hann, who played Newt in Aliens. Aliens was her only film she ever did. She didn't do any more. She was like a teacher or something now. But yeah, it's you know, they would make it or not. I think was it the guy who played Chunk from the Goonies. He actually become like some sort of like lawyer or something. It was actually and he's not Chunk anymore. I think the most horrifying ones I remember seeing was like the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like the guy who played Charlie, you know, how he looks when I saw him again, it was just like, wow, that's so different. Like, it reminded me of Flanders, like a real life Flanders. Old Ned, hey Nedley, hey diddly diddly. Emilio Estevez will always be loaded weapon for me. I used to love Emilio Estevez was one of my favourite actors. Obviously, like Loaded Weapon, but obviously like Young Guns as a Wild Bill, not Wild Bill, Billy the Kid, Make You Famous. You know that was like again when they done the first Young Guns, we had like Kiefer Sutherland, obviously Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Oliver Platt, and the other dude. Can't remember. Yeah, that was just like, you know, not like the Brat Pack, but it was like one of those like Dream Team type things that was going on with all, like, especially like Emilio and his brother Charlie or Carlos Estevez, aka Sheen, was yeah, because he was it Martin Sheen, who is their dad. His real name is Ramon Estevez. So Emilio kept the Estevez name. Charlie went with the Hollywood Charlie Sheen to be like Dad, because obviously Dad changed his name to Martin Sheen because having a Hispanic name or a Latino name in the early days wasn't really great for becoming a serious actor, apparently, because obviously, you know, prejudices and all that. But yeah, Martin Sheen, great actor. West Wing, if you've not seen the West Wing, that is just a really good political series all round. And yeah, it was one of those series that comes along that's just awesome. It really was. And we keep on flashing it, saying about going back to it, but I don't know. We can't recapture the glorious days. Same as like House of Cards. House of Cards used to be a really good series, and then that whole Kevin Spacey thing came through where there was the actor from Star Trek Discovery accused him of, you know, being a little bit naughty when he was younger and stuff. So obviously Kevin Spacey hasn't really done much work in the last several years now because of that. Obviously biding his time, perhaps. The House of Cards was a really great series. So yeah, I do like the odd political sort of thriller sort of thing. It makes a difference from just being a gun bunny all the time. Can't always be a gun bunny. So just need to quickly reference some colour styles that I'm looking for. My Titans. So yeah, I do try to save my Titan pictures all to one file. I'm trying to find almost. Yes, actually, I could probably show you. You should have one here. What I was saying about earlier on with the colour differences. If you can find it, yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, still can't probably see it properly on that, but that is lighter than what that is there. So yeah, it's a lot more sort of damn it. So it's a lot more sort of pale green on that, and after and that was it after doing the oil weathering, so it toned it down quite nicely, so it wasn't so bright and vibrant, but it made a big difference to how the green and that interacts. Right, sorry, I was just trying to find the Vulcanum schemes, because they're in here. They're all in here. But I do take a lot of photographs of Titans. Oh dear. Sorry, start again. I've gone through the wrong area. I was only looking at them the other day. Oh no, because that's because I went elsewhere. That was it. I actually, yeah, I thought I'd go to the Facebook group, the Legio Vulcanum Facebook group, because that would be quicker to actually find them. There they are. So that's the posse there. So black carapaces. Oh, yeah, they look good. Damn it. Yeah, no, they are such a great little surprising. I went with them because I wanted to do a black scheme. Yeah, I say that's what I say. Doing organisational bits is very handy. Makes a hell of a difference trying to keep track of everything at the end of the day. So that's so with contrast, you do have to give them quite a good shake to get them really working, to be fair. Mix them in. Come here, my brushes. a nice brush. Get you out of the way before I do something stupid again. So this is, although it's sort of quick, it's not, because you have to do repeated layers, but you've got to go and let it dry before attempting to go over again. So it does start off a little bit patchy, but obviously with subsequent layers. And that's the thing with obviously contrast, they do tend to dry quicker than other paints. I suppose they're thinner. But gotta make a start. You need a good brush to actually get the coverage. You want it to pull round a bit. I'm heading off to the Bunkley. Thanks for the stream. See you later. Yeah, catch up on that, dude. Thank you for joining us and for hanging out. I hope you've done well with your speciwats. I'm sure I'll be speaking to you soon. It's a very repetitive process, but it's the only way you can get this working. This actual paint as well is what I would also use when I've done experiments with Laniuscara, but I went with a much lighter silver as a base. One of my mates, David, who has occasionally been on here with us, he sort of took that and ran with it and made it even more awesome the way he's done his ones. So it really made them look fantastic because he uses like a titanium white before applying to do like little the patterning. They have very tribal marks on their Titans, so he used this titanium white to make these patterns, and then he washed over them. So it's very subtle but very effective. doesn't really matter if you do hit the trim, because you could be going over it anyway. It's a very rough. Sorry. Yeah. Let's round that. Whew. Yeah. Trying to think with everything I've sort of been painting in the AT side of things. So Vulcanum is using majority contrast. Fortidus uses contrast. My House Veroni Knights use contrast. My homebrew one is partial half and half contrast, so like Blood Angels Red on them. How many layers of green do you need? Normally about 2, possibly 3. So yeah, it's depends what mood you're in, really. And the crazy thing is once I've done the Liberator Gold, I'll go over it all with the Agrax because it again changes how it looks and ties it together quite nicely. Yeah, like if you was painting these on a good summer's day, you know, it's nice and warm out or in, they obviously dry a lot quicker. And then you just go, you paint all the bits you want to do, and then you go over it again. There's actually, like, on the one of my videos, the tutorial videos of painting these guys, it was basically around about 45 minutes, I think, for doing 2 Warhounds. So whilst one was drying, you're doing the other one, and then you move on to the other colours and, you know, jazz it up that way. I was messing about with some yellow contrasts on the hoses of my knights. Oh, never thought of that. Was it over like Leadbelcher? Was you doing that? Because I use Nazgreg yellow or Nasdrag or whatever, Nosdrag, yellow on metals. It changes the sort of the look of them. So where we've got the referencing photographs. Times. There's no good pictures of it there. Great. Again, I might actually go into the other ones. And you can't see it from the front or the side. Oh, here you go. So that was on my Domitian one. That's Nasdrag yellow over Leadbelcher. So it gives it a real nice sort of differential tone. It goes down quite easily. Very smooth. Painted over Rekar flesh and then added a little Agrex and Gloss Reichland. Nice. I'll check that out once you post the pictures up again. I'll start looking at them again. See how you do it. All your awesome paintings. Actually, most of that barely just sort of dried already. That's the thing, contrast just dries. It dries before your eyes. Start from the top again. Painting 3 heads for my Cerastus. Can't decide which one I want to use and becoming handy for future nights. There you go. See, it's you're preparing for the future. You get them from Mark, those ones, or was they ones you had stockpiled? I know you've been buying some bits off of Mark. It was like part of the package that you got from him. So I've had the heads for many years. When I left the hobby, they were the one things I kept in a drawer. Mementos of your time. The heads of the enemies that you slew in battle. Repurpose. Yes. Yeah. Hazard stripes. I'd go. I'd keep it the theme. Keep it like mainly red. Because then it's tonally going to blend with what you've got. But yeah, I'd just do it like just battered up red, you know. Hey Tom, nice of you to drop in, dude. Welcome. There was I think mouse bait is possibly lurking still out there. Up to stuff as per normal. So yeah, it's obviously Rob Felix was about as well earlier, but yes, it's low key Saturday for your viewing pleasure. So these are the guys I was doing earlier with the oil washing or oil weathering, and that's how they turned out. There was a little bit of there were scenes of danger because I had them drying on the radiator and I was checking my phone messages and I knocked them off onto the floor and they got covered in cat and dog hair. Red and stripes, filling it with Imperial. Yeah, there you go. The Imperial fists come charging out, which will be a nice contrast against the red. And definitely stand out from the green. So yeah, and that's what we're up to so far with this Vulcanum dude. So I'll change it up and go with some Black Templar. There has been much drama because I'd buggered the leg a little bit. So apart from that, you're alright, Tom. What have you been up to, dude? What's happening? I've just been told by the missus you have ASMR dulcet tones. Having some hard stuff in the family, so I'll be watched and start again later. Yeah, it's only because you're here, Tom, that I've toned down, and now I know that I have soft dulcet tones that your wife enjoys. But thank her for me. That'd be much appreciated. Is this where I get one of those like really fancy nights and start starting like talking really, really slowly and deliberately? Yeah, it was a bit of a disaster, mate. It was. It started when I was gluing them together yesterday, and I must have given them a bit of a squeeze, and damaged the connection a bit. So I've added some more poly into it and some super glue to reinforce it, and the legs are holding. And now it's just going around with the black Templar. I'm being really self-conscious of how I'm talking now. Yeah, it was it's just a little bit overzealous and just give it too much. Just wasn't focusing on what I was doing, and just squeezed them and closed them like a pair of pliers. So I wonder if I could actually put that onto my description of the videos, ASMR now. I might get more followers. Yeah, this is. I think this is where, because tonight's session is very laid back, as per normal. It's always laid back, but this is extra laid back. Just chilling, doing some painting, hanging out with the hobbyists. Yeah, I was don't know if you actually are you on Twitter, Tom? I can't remember if you are. Yeah, because I posted up on Twitter earlier on a customer of mine. It was like they're more of a friend now, but she's still a customer. Came in to my store today, and as a thank you for sorting out her bedroom carpets, she got us a load of GW paints and some brushes. I was like, oh my god, it's like best tip ever. So yeah, that was quite a nice, pleasant surprise, for sure. And like, I'm not talking cheap brushes. It was one of those excess detail brushes. They're like 13 quid on their own, and then a base brush as well, and then paints. So yeah, I was like, oh my god, brilliant. And then I was talking to her another half about TV shows they should watch. Because obviously The Expanse is always getting mentioned. I also recommended Chernobyl as well, because that is just fantastic. I don't have a tendency to repeat view series, but The Expanse and Chernobyl, although it's only a mini series, Chernobyl I watched back to back over again 5 times. So it was just continued watching it, because it was just so well made, so well acted, and obviously a riveting story. Based on a true story, obviously. Not that the Russians admitted to it. Well, certain things, certain aspects. But we know it happened. Can't hide all that radiation. Still kicking around, Lee, just cleaning up and building my Amazon BB team and some ships for BFG. Nice. Especially the BFG stuff, Felix. Because who doesn't like giant spaceships? I think Rob would agree there. You're a fabricator generally, you can fix it. Oh, it's sorted, dude. It's sorted. It's feeling firm. Feels good. Better than it was before. It can do the job. You can do it. Yes, Miss Moneypenny. Yes, indeed. I'm putting some Imperial Fist Tartarus Terminators in pod. Doubt they will ever get a Marine army. Just bought some more mechanical stuff from Fort George. Good boy. Well done. Well done, sir. And something that's not been mentioned today, but this Reaver is number 111. Just for anyone who was keeping tabs. Get off. As I said, this stuff dries really quick, so it allows you to do a second coat as quick. I just started the Expanse, but got super annoyed by getting passed around, so I had to wait until it was finished to avoid that again. What do you mean between Netflix and Amazon. So some people like to obviously have it all there, just so they can just binge it all. Oh yeah, sorry, there was another series that I've watched multiple times on top of The Expanse and um, Chernobyl, which is Sense8, which is on Netflix. It's only 2 seasons and a movie, but such a unique sort of concept and story. And J. Michael Straczynski of Babylon 5 fame was actually part of the writing team, along with the Wachowskis, who made it. But it's such a great, it's brilliant storytelling, brilliant acting, so much like the others I've spoken about with The Expanse and Chernobyl. But obviously, it's all the different sort of places that they film in as well, because the reason why they got cancelled was because it was costing so much to send all the teams to all these various parts around the world. But it made it so unique in that respect and so good to watch. So yeah, it's definitely one to check out. Road to 200 in full swing. Just a few Phalanx, Mactatech, Ingenseer, and a Thanatar. Thanatars are awesome. So are Phalanx. I love Phalanx. Man, I need to get back to my turns. Yeah, Titans. Titans are just the best. Yeah. Yeah, get that. And to position. Yes, I didn't trust it would get finished. Ah, right. Yeah, so just so you're aware, have you actually like done the books at all, Tom, for The Expanse? Or you just straight to this TV series, see how that goes? Because what I will tell you now, with season 6, with there's 9 books in The Expanse. Each season represents one book, basically. So from Leviathan Wakes, you go up to the 6th book, which is Babylon's Ashes. But there is another 3 books after that. Now, the reason why they've stopped at Babylon's Ashes is that it's basically the culmination of three story arcs, basically. that has happened in the previous 6. So it's like 2 books, sort of each arc sort of thing. So they've had 3 major arcs in those 6 series. So it's a natural finishing point before the 7th book, because there's a 30-year jump between them. So they've, in the 6th season, they've set up stuff so in the future they can go back to it because it's already there, but they tie it off beautifully, unlike Game of Thrones, which I was a massive fan of Game of Thrones. You know, I got into the books, all the audio books and like the history stuff, the novellas and all that sort of thing. But it's like they didn't get the landing. Obviously, not having a finished book series to work from is a bit of a pain. But yeah, so it didn't really work out as planned as I wanted to, which is a shame. But it's don't know anyone going back to watch it, which is a shame. You know, for most of the season, some people say like, oh, it went down from the 6th season onwards, but 6th and 7th season I really enjoyed, and actually there was the only seasons that I watched multiple times. The other seasons I didn't, but those episodes in season 6 and season 7 I watched multiple times, which for me is a big thing. So if I watch something multiple times, you know it must be good. Oh dear. In the Grim Necromunda hired guns, which turns into more Titan crew. I was looking at Phantom Titan first and decided to hold off a bit longer. I may be in danger of some actual games coming up, and Warlord 3 is ready to pick up from the outpost. Nice. We don't talk about, yeah. It's no, okay. All right. It's off subject now. Yeah, because it just makes you crazy. Really does. Although, you know, no. Right, beer. It's always too soon. Always. Yeah. Right. Really Expanse. Can you remember how many series were on Netflix before we went to Amazon? Well, they're all on Amazon, mate. Amazon bought the whole shebang. So all 6 seasons are on there. So yeah, you're safe to start. And I say this to everybody that I suggest watching The Expanse to. The first couple of episodes are setting up the story, the universe that is set in. Well, not as a universe, it's set in our universe, but yeah, giving you the whole background between the factions involved and stuff. Is the end of episode 3 where things start going like, oh, and then episode 4 is when it starts to take off, and then next minute you're in season 2 and then season 3. The first 3 seasons are all really sort of the consequences of what happens because it. No, I'm not going to tell you, because looking back from when you get to season 6 and you finish the last bit of season 6, you're thinking, we have come so far on such a journey through different paths and everything to end up where we are from where we started, and I think been lucky in some respects. Like, I don't know, obviously, how much you know about The Expanse and what goes on in there. Don't go around googling it. Just enjoy it. Just go for it. The acting talent in there is good. I guarantee there'll be 2 characters that you'll really like. Maybe actually, there'll be at least 3 characters that you'll really like by the end of season 1, sort of thing. And it's just so good. So yeah, I will not ever stop gassing on about The Expanse. It is absolutely worth it. Right. You will not be disappointed. So yeah, it's because I think the first 2 seasons were probably longer episode bases in them, but then they go down to 10, and the last season 6. My favourite season is probably 2/3 because of what's going on in there. And no, I'll tell you what. No, I know I said like 2 or 3 characters. There'll be lots more, but there's always one that you'll always love, no matter what. I like lots of the characters, both good and bad guys. Although the line is pretty blurry at best. Yeah, it's just being honest. So before it stopped at season 3, and then the last 3 seasons have been on Amazon. But when Amazon took them on, they took on all of the episodes. They've got the whole back catalogue as well. So Netflix have nothing to do. Sci-Fi Channel has nothing to do with it anymore. But what they did, they kept all the, like, obviously the actors together, obviously, but they kept the crew as well. So all like the background guys and girls, and special effects, even like like makeup and all that. They're all the same people all throughout, and it made making the series so much better because they knew what they had to do, and it just had that sort of like hive mind mentality sort of thing, and they worked with the actors, and there was it was a and when you hear the actors in interviews and like, they just go on about how well it went. Yeah, it's definitely something you will not be at all disappointed to once you get going with it. So, right. So you've seen the first 3 seasons, yeah, but it doesn't hurt to rewatch them because they haven't been on so you haven't probably watched them for 3 years because obviously there's been 3 other seasons, so it might be a bit foggy. But it doesn't hurt to just rewatch and enjoy because I've watched. So I haven't started my second rewatch of season 6, although, well, that's technically a lie because I've watched all the episodes at least twice. Episode 3 I watched 7 times. I just really like that episode. But yeah, all the other seasons. So season 5 I've only watched twice. Season 4 I've watched about 4 times now, and the other ones I've watched about 5 or 6 times. So yeah, so I've got to catch up on the other ones. But they're all great. Like season 4, the book it's based on, Cibola Burns, isn't the greatest book out of the series. It's considered to be the weakest book. But what they did with it on the TV show, it was so good. It really was, and it just totally changed your sort of look on that novel. They made it work, and again, you had like Bern Gorman, who a British actor. He was in Torchwood and Pacific Rim as the British scientist. He plays a really mean, psychotic security dude, but you do see his point of view after the stuff that goes on in that season. You sort of you understand a little bit about, because you think, yeah, I can, if you was in that situation, what happens? You'd probably do the same thing. So that's how great, that grey area about sort of certain characters. Though he is a dick, to be fair. I didn't read the books, and I know not to look into it too much, so it's partly why I'm asking here. That's right. I will rewatch Battlestar Galactica with my kids when they're old enough. The second one, or you're going to show them the first one as well? As a fellow Mass Effect fan, if I recall, you will know how big a deal that will be. I miss Mass Effect. I know Mass Effect Andromeda got a lot of shit. Yeah, it didn't help itself in that respect, but I really enjoyed it. I just wish they'd sort of just nailed the landing. And the animation was a little bit weird at times, but no, I enjoyed it. It was an upgrade on 3, Mass Effect 3, which was my favourite Mass Effect. I did actually enjoy the fact that they streamlined the whole sort of itinerary stuff, because like Mass Effect 1 and 2, I'd be hours changing my gear and weapons and putting upgrades and stuff into it. Like, are you actually playing the game? Yeah, kind of. You've been on that for 45 minutes, have I? Oh, time flies when you're having fun. But yeah, it was a bit of a mental sort of trying to keep hold of everything, and then obviously equipping all your teams as well. Oh god, that was so hard at times. It would kill you. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. I'm gonna do some leggies. I did a new playthrough of all the Mass Effect games over Christmas. Did they re-released it, didn't they? Or was that I'm thinking Halo? No, they did. Yeah, they redid. Yeah, they redid it, didn't they? Modernized it, updated. And I have to say, like with regards to how Mass Effect 3 ended, I didn't really have a problem with how it ended. There was so much, what sort of choices are they? But yeah, they're writing it as a story. Sort of like Game of Thrones with George R. Martin. Right. Iron Breaker on the Pistons. I'm back. Clean desk. Still can't find what I was looking for. Oh. Mouse, I think today's been a day where things it's pretty right in front of you because I was looking earlier on. You might have been here. I was looking for the lead belcher. It was there, right, just out of sight, just next to this Drushy Violet, and I could not see it on this here sort of thing. But it was sitting right there, front, looking at me. I would have to go through my other box to try and find another lead belcher because I had multiple lead belchers, as you do. And then once I found that one, I put it down on there, and there it was, just going, "Hi, I'm Lead Belcher. Nice to meet you." Yeah, that was fun. It's lovely to have you back, Mouse, as always. Saturday night hobby hangout on the Reaver. Saturday Night Reaver is never the same without our Mouse. Yes, it is all good. So, scratchy, 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 scratchy. Scratch that painting. I'm sure I'll put him somewhere logical, just can't flip and recall. Oh, Haxon, hell, bloody hell. That was like £50 model, isn't he? Sorry, it'll be about $75 to you, right? Plus delivery. We're playing through the trilogy at the moment. It's modded the bloody hell out of ME2. We just started it. It looks even better with the new one. A lot of gameplay corrections. I wish I'm going to have to go through all the other boxes just in case I found his box, but he's not in it. Oh, I absolutely bloody hate that when that happens, you have that moment of like relief. Oh, here it is, and then you open up. It's got. It's like a note there saying, "I fucked off." I had that similar situation myself when I was looking for my old copy of Shadowrun on the Xbox because a few friends are still playing it, and I found the box. This was not in there, which was very annoying because I'm the only one who plays it, and I'm pretty anal when it comes to putting things away, like games in particular. So very, very annoyed because I know it wasn't me who's misplaced it. So yes, Ironbreaker, yay! Thanks, glad to finally get in here. Well, you're always welcome, Mouse. You're part of the team. Team of awesome people. You, it's basically like you and Rob. Get you both in here as Saturday Night Reaver Princeps. You're like the Moderati. You drive this thing. I'm here as the face. Ross. And obviously Tom pops in, and it's fun time again. But yeah, say everyone who comes in here, everyone, if you're ever watching this in the future, no. Sorry. These are some great hobbyists here. You learn a lot from these guys, and they're just awesome. And we've learned so much tonight as well. All the things that we've been through. You wouldn't believe it. Oh, the ups, the downs, the sorrows, the joys. It's all good. Oh, Felix, one of the servitors. Yeah, you'll be one of the. No. You could be the Ingenseer. You're always about. You just mysteriously appear, then disappear again. Oh, yeah, there you go. You've got promotion. You're no longer a servitor. You're actually Ingenseer. There you go. It's not cheap. No, it's not. I really need to prime again. Got my Warbringer together. Didn't prime yet. Plus a bunch of other built stuff. And OOP or whatever. And of course, he's got to be the special model that's gone. It's always of that one. Putting your Custodes together. I started him, and then when I first got him, and as I recall, I panicked, and because he was pretty complicated, I didn't want to mess him up, so I put him somewhere safe where we can never remember where. Yeah, I fully expect it. Yeah, I usually search for things just like Lee, and it'll be right on my desk. Yeah, I fully expect it. But Robert says I totally give up. Pretending. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't really work when you pretend. You have to physically just give up. It's like, I say, it's dead. It's beyond me now. Throw your arms up in the air. Curse a bit. Kick something, and it will magically appear. It's the ritual. The ritual of summoning. Right. Now, I'm going to go with a cheeky third coat on the shoulder pads with the Aphomeric blue. There you go, see? We found you a position at last. Yeah, me. I might just go a little bit over the top there. That will do, that will do, that will do, that will do. He says, not listening to himself. That will do. Right, I scream to the heavens. Shaking your fist to the heavens as well, Rob. Like every time I finally buy a book, I think I'm missing. I find a duck I'm missing one. That's the thing. I've got like the reason why I've got lots of lead belcher is because I keep on Well, I may be mislaying it. I don't know. Somebody might be borrowing it, but I've got lots of lead belcher. I've got lots of well, I've got a couple of black Templar contrasts. Stylish or Shylish purple I bought by accident twice because I don't use it. But I know, like, I'd buy a paint and then bring it back and, oh look, there it is. Found you. So that's the plan. We'll be going on to here. But I've got to do trim. Everybody's favourite. Oh, that's weird. For some reason, things just went off. Since a lot of my stuff is spread over 2 rooms and multiple boxes, it can take a while to find things again. I found a whole plague furnace and didn't realise I had. I've got a Aquila Strong Point still in a box, unopened, which I bought from Salute about 5 years ago. It's one of those things, I guess. Flat brush, further trim, makes it go quickly in. Dun 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 dun. Do, 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 do. Obviously, I don't use the flat brush for all the areas, just the bits I could successfully get to with said flat brush. Get that round there. Do that. Do, 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 do. Be careful with those legs, Lee. Don't be squeezing them again. Not what we should be doing. some from my paint pots, as well as being like that, even keeping up to date. Extra paint isn't. Yeah, it's true. It's when it's like extra paint of a paint that you hardly use. That's the one that's really bad. So that I'm childish. I don't know why. It might have been through my experimental phase where I was trying to do the Legio Domitium, the purple and white dudes, which Mouse assisted me on with going with Magos purple in the end. So I didn't even touch it, including no receipt. It's sitting there. You're never going to use it, I don't think. Never. Never ever. Whew. We talk about terrain backlog. No. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I survived COVID. First day of testing negative today. Does that mean I have to go back to the office on Monday, though? No, I still think you got to hold off for a couple of days. So I'll look into that, dude. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on over here. That's going. I didn't have too many symptoms, to be honest. I just felt like a bad cold, but I got to work from home. Do some extra hobby stuff whilst I'm doing conference calls. Found your grot text. Hey! You painted up a load of grot text, didn't you? I thought you'd done, was it, November time you was doing the grot tanks. the week off working from home. Government rules say 5 day maximum now. All right. Now, is it 5 days maximum after you've had it, or I don't know. I know it went. Yeah, I know it went down. Yeah, it definitely come down. I want to say if you only had your test today, it's come back negative. Is it 5 days from today? That's what I'm thinking. There's actually I posted up a picture of the picture I'd done on Twitter of the build of this dude. I shared it on a Facebook group, and there was one guy who said, "Oh, you're brave, putting it all together at once," sort of thing, before painting it. I'm like, that's how I do it with these dudes. I don't do it with all the Titans I build and paint, but with these guys I do, because it's a simple scheme. If I'm doing stripes or patterns or some description, then I wouldn't have assembled it all. But yeah, so maybe things like, don't you know who I am? And another guy was saying like, oh yeah, it's like, that's a brave sort of format to go with, like, because it's a Mars Beta Reaver. I'm like, but it's the one that comes in the box. Oh dear. Five days from start. It's weird. Got to just awesome whatever they're doing. No, I didn't. Sometimes you just walk away. You just think, no. I haven't posted a lot in like 8018 recently. But yeah, it was just like, okay. I didn't know what to say. It's just like I felt weird. But yeah, it's like this is how I do it. Yeah, it's, that other picture I was tweeting earlier on of my my second placing Legio Solaria from the Legio walks. I can't believe, like, in 3 weeks' time, that's 2 years ago. It's like, oh my god, that's been the only official GW AT event. Years. It was also my first official event that I've ever been to. I've done like other gaming events, which was associated with a gaming group called the Templars Fugitives or something, or Temporal Fugitives. Years ago, went to a couple which were actually at Warhammer World, but they weren't Warhammer World run. It was like you get a load of tables and then play the games. Well, I did do actually tell a lie. I did do. There was an event called Conflict, which they had one down south and one up north. And it was like doubles combat patrols, and they were fun. I used to enjoy them because I had a mate with us to help us actually understand what I was doing. Oh, yeah, it's based on that, but it's Templar Fugitives. So instead of Temper Fugit, there was Temper's Fugitives or something like a play. Yeah, it was a play on it. Yeah, but yes, yeah. So Gary, my sweet nemesis. So that's what I've been painting. Secondly, after doing the oil washing on these two little chaps. So I've done them first. So I got them all oil weathered. Had a slight accident where I dropped them, but they survived. See, they're well stuck together. But yeah, it's really quite happy with how they all turned out with them. So did them first, and started on this dude. So yeah, you all right? Were you getting some hobby in tonight? Or are you just popping in after a hectic day? I'll stick with the TOC walks and demo events. I used to play a lot of events in Holland, but cannot be asked to learn all the rules again. Yeah, it's so the more I'm seeing stuff on the interweb, the more I'm not keen on doing 40k. So I'm happy with my Titanicus and the Titan Owner Club walks. Hey, Gary, are you going to Beachhead? Well, I know it's not quite your neck of the woods, but it's getting nearer to them than what Milton Keynes is. There's I don't know if you actually saw on Facebook earlier on that I was searching for. I saw a post on Instagram that somebody had posted. It was pictures of their game going on down at Warhammer World, but I couldn't get to look at them properly. I didn't take down the name, and so I went searching under keywords on Facebook and on that, trying to find the pictures again. It was like from today. There was a big like heresy game on the table that I took my Titans to, the Nijmegen Bridge or whatever it's called, Nijmegen Bridge, and I found, was searching on the search function, the post of Frank on the Flank after the day after when he went to Warhammer World and found the assassin. I read that and I was like so sort of like chuffed at seeing that. It put a smile on my face. "2017, 5 years ago, we did the demo game." That little group we formed of the Mortis and versus Ignatum. That Frank on the flank. A legend was born. I'm actually surprised that they didn't actually use that as a story in one of the background bits for AT, because that was pretty fucking legendary. Not sure. Plan to be. Don't want to commit. Saying yes. Well, it would be good if you were, dude. I'm heading down. So if there was ever an incentive, but I don't honestly. I can't remember the last time we actually saw it. I think it was actually 2017. The last time we actually were physically in the same room. Because I remember meeting Megan and obviously playing the Saturday night game, and then obviously the seminar the next day where we was all sitting in a line and Andy Hoare took a photograph of us. You know, glorious days. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I haven't because obviously I've been on here, so I haven't seen Leaky Cheese because he was playing Ivy, so that's why Ivy's not here because she was up there with Office Painter and Electric Eve and Leaky Cheese and several other people like Tank Pot Zoe turned up just to say hi, and a lot of other people as well. So it was the place to be. To try and find an assassin. So, yeah, well, right, because this is what happened. I know I've mentioned about the demo game several times in live streams and how Frank on the flank became a legend for disobeying my orders. And how he made the game the victory for the loyalists, the Reaver that just would not die until he killed himself. But yeah, obviously we got the hashtag of Frank on the flank. We got his name mentioned by James Hewitt in the Adeptus Titanicus seminar the next day, sort of thing, because it was just such a great sort of moment. And like he got hashtag, he says like Frank on the flank, and sort of thing. And then to top it off on the Monday, because he's a guy called Frank, he's from Belgium, and on the Monday he went to Warhammer World and found the Vindicar assassin, and there's this photograph of him. Right, I'll show you this photograph because it's quite quick for me to pull up because it was only earlier because he replied to it as well. Right, so not only was he a legend for what he did, yeah, because it was just like it was so funny, and it just like it just became marching down one flank, taking on so much firepower from the enemy, punching a warhound in the face and killing it and sending it flying. And then on the say got mentioned, made a legend in his lifetime. And then on the Monday he went down to Warhammer World and found the assassin, and you can just tell the look of serene joy on his face. He wasn't one for smiling, was our Frank. But he's come down there, and finding those things are not easy. Because there's so much going on, and he found it. He's just like, oh yeah, I've done this. I'm going to go down to celebrate. I'm going to go find the fucking assassin. Gosh. But yeah, he's actually a nice guy. Bless him. Very, very unique. But yeah, so it was. Just, when I saw that, but oh my god, I can't believe this guy. He's just like on such a fucking roll. He's just like, oh yeah, yeah. I get to play AT, and I become a legend, and then I go and find the assassin. Oh dear. Oh. Yeah, sorry. I go in, that's the moment, you. Love stories like that, to be honest. They are. I say it's, you got mentioned in a seminar, for God's sake, It's the face I made has stared into the abyss for too long. Yeah, I've seen things, man. I've seen things. But and then say like he actually when AT came out, he turned up because I run the Ignatum page, and he joined the Ignatum page because he wanted to do Ignatum. I'm like, yeah. And that means we instantly win anything because we got Frank on the flank. Oh, such a fucking legend. Well, no, actually, Gary, I honestly feel from that game that in the Ignatum fluff, you know, from it was actually from their first bit of fluff in AT from Crucible of Retribution, um, where they sort of say that like the Ignatum turned up, like 8 engines were sent to Urdesh, sort of thing, or went to the war zone, but they turned up and basically everyone was sort of subservient to them. They was like automatically got field command, sort of thing, because it was Ignatum, and that's what happened that day, because I was there and everyone basically like almost like took a step back when they said who was to be Princeps Senoris, sorry, and everyone just seemed to like step back and go, oh, he can do it because he's got the nice painted Reaver. And I just went, yeah, I'll do it. I won't put myself forward. I accept. Great men don't seek leadership; it is thrust upon them. Right. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba. Yes, it was such a great day. I say we were just lucky because that came down because of me and you trying to organise that Titan meetup with all the people attending, and then obviously having Andy just come bowling and going, "Oh, do you want to play with the AT rules?" It's like, fuck yeah, yes, please. We would love to do that. There's notifications of Rob liking stuff on the Twitter. Thank you very much, Rob. Oh, so eyes are not focusing. They're not working. They're breaking down. Okay, Prey, going through the last 3 bins of stuff that shouldn't have Ixion in there, but I am desperate. Good luck. I hope you find him. Used my Morax last night for the first time. Worked okay. Took out 2 Questorius, but mainly they force an activation, which helped. Want to try them in a household list. Well, yeah, it was. I was talking to a couple of guys on the Titan Owner Club hangout the other night, actually, Gary, and we were talking about knights, about the Morax and the Warglaives and all that sort of thing. And I was just saying about, you know, they how they should have basically made the kit. If you're going to have 3 in a kit, you should have them be able to switch between, or not switch between, but have the options to have them either as Warglaives or Helverins, and the same with the Morax sort of thing. Either having them Laszloks or the Volkites, because it is an expensive kit anyway, and to have a lance or even a banner, a full banner, you've got to buy so many bloody. You've got to buy 5 kits to have 1 banner of Morax. That's £150, and then you've only got 5 Helverines. So to get a full banner of Helverines, you need another 4 packs, but you only get 1 in there, and that's my biggest beef with the Armiger kits. You know, it's just, it is too much. They've got to make them plastic. They've got to make them plastic and have the options, because you know, Questoris one thing, but they're in plastic, and you're like 20 quid for free. It's like, you know, acceptable, and these are smaller. It's annoying. It's vexing. But that said, if you had a full banner of Helverins within range and you're using them in a lance, and you do coordinated fire with the thermal lance, that's a strength 17 hit, which is nasty. Or, you know, it's strength 10, Helverines. That's the thing, I was a bit surprised. Helverines autocannons are only 1 shot, which doesn't seem right. You know, they're not as strong, but they're all, like, there's 2 of them. Should get 2 shots. Yeah, 1 dice, ordnance, strength 4. It's just not for an Armiger. That's per. Oh, you do technically get 2 shots. Don't you? Yeah. Yeah, because you have 2 of them. Yes. But still, should be 4 shots. 4 shots. You're only 16-inch range, for God's sake. But yeah, it's who knows? Are you actually asking that right now? Rules now give. Sorry, I do Twitter a lot. I sporadically click when I see notifications. Don't apologise, dude. It was just I just saw a notification come through. Oh, Rob's saying like, "Hello, I like this. It's nice." Yeah, the force loadout is a pain in the ass. Yeah, especially auto cannons. It does have the word auto in it. I agree that and the iconoclast not being a separate sprue, bad decision. Well, the iconoclast is a separate sprue. So, you know, apart from that, it is a War Master. All the bits for the iconoclast is on that sprue. Same with the, what do you call it? The War Master. So, yeah, it's vexing, to say the least. But I don't know, just it was a if they were going to do it like not be able to swap out the weapons, close combat, mixing them up. I really don't have that much. I'm not bothered anymore, to be honest with you, with those things anyway. It's like where you get people saying, "Oh, why do you need an iconoclast?" Well, when the fluff is an anti-siege assault Titan, so it means it gets up close and personal and just rams things to rip down walls and tear things apart to gain entry. But some people just want to watch the world burn. Yeah, no worries, dude. Thank you for dropping in anyway. It's lovely to see you and hear from you. Must do this again. And hopefully we'll see you at Beachhead. So Beachhead, for those who aren't going, is on the 12th of February, which is a Saturday. So I probably won't be live streaming that Saturday because travelling from Bournemouth and stuff. So yeah, so that's a couple of Saturdays time. So just letting you know, yeah, the people that are important to me, that won't be around that day. I might, however, do a separate sort of hangout on another day, just in case, as compensation to make up for my laxitude, and I don't even know what that word is. But yeah, just play by ear. I'm sure I'll do something. Says Lee, needs 110 times. You can literally burn worlds now, Lee. 111. Technically painted. Not completely painted, but it is painted. Alright. Oh dear. So it's way past my, no, it's not really way past my bedtime, but it's late. Almost 10 to 12. So I think it might be a safe point to actually end because I can't focus on it anymore. I don't think the free Budweisers helped, but damn, they were fine. And I should be available separately, and the weapons should be able to go on both in game physically. No other chassis is like that. There's no precedent for it till now. I will hopefully have a free 28mm Cerastus Lancers ready by tomorrow, including the banner one. Family picks for the win. He's not done yet, Lee. I know he's not done yet, but they weren't done last week. And that is, I would say, at 70%, pretty much. You know, just got to finish the trim and wash it, and then pick out details. Even a Cytomans. But that's the. I don't know. It's sort of Game of Thrones thing, Tom. It's the Game of Thrones things. We just. It's frustrating. It's annoying. But who knows? Who knows? I can't fathom them out. They are a law unto themselves. Maybe it's along the lines of the Cerastus, not the Cerastus, the Acastus, where technically same chassis, just different things. They should have altered the look a bit more, maybe. Anyway, you got to stop me talking. I'll just ramble, and that's not good because I've got work tomorrow. So, yes, thank you very much for joining me as always, you lovely lot. Hopefully I'll be on Artist Empire. I know last Wednesday wasn't on Artist Empire because Artist Empire was trying to get home and he couldn't because of snows and stuff. So hopefully this Wednesday we will be on. And I'll say hi and we'll talk and reminisce about Paris. I don't know. But yes, next Saturday we'll be back here. He'll be finished. I'll do him by Tuesday. So that'll be done. And then I'll start another Titan, I guess, really. I've still got a few out there. So anyway, thank you again. Thanks everybody. Felix, Rob, Tom, Mouse, and everyone else. Reaver, obviously, he's gone already. But everyone else who's joined in this evening, thank you very much. You made it awesome. And you chap, yeah, even though I'm going now, I'm getting rid. Thank you very much. So yeah, hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you during the week. So ta-ta for now. Have a good one.